angles and edges, but with applying more and more power in those. So we're gradually gonna go from drills that are just being on the outer edge to drills where you're putting pressure and weight and power into the outer edge, because that allows you more momentum and it allows more body weight transfer. So simple skating is you put it down, it skates. If you're good at it, you stay forward and you push straight to the side. And then if I want to go a little faster, I put more body weight. And if I want to go faster than that, there's more edges. So I don't put it down straight, I put it down a little on the outside, because that allows me to go even more from side to side. And then if you get really good at it, you can use what's called the double push, where you put it down here and then first drive it there and then drive it there. So like, so that's different steps of good fast skating. It's not necessary that you learn to do the double push, because it takes a ton of strength, stability, mobility, flexibility, coordination, you name it. But it's important that you learn to be strong on both edges, because if you skate a whole marathon only on the inside here, that's extremely hard, and it's hard to carry one push onto the other push. So now we're just gonna get first comfortable on the edges and then strong on the edges. Again, the key is you always put the leg or the foot down right under your center of gravity. So if I skate at slow speed, my center of gravity is here, so I put it down and basically straight under myself. But if I skate really fast, then my center of gravity is in here. So don't think too much about where you put it down, just put it down naturally under your weight and pointing forward. And then the smooth edges. So first one, we will put no specific pressure or balance into it. We're just doing slalom. So slalom on two legs, because that's a nice way of feeling, oh, you already know how to be on both edges. So classic slalom, where you try and little by little push a little. It's a simple exercise. I feel comfortable, but you can see if you look at my feet, they're extremely much in the outer edge. So just to get you the feeling of finding it. The easier it gets, you can try and like push a little. It's almost like skiing. Playing around with putting the body weight on the leg under. So this one, I think if anything, most of you had the leg on that exterior, like the outer leg when you did the slalom, which is great because that's how you do a good slalom. To turn, you put the pressure there. For the next one, don't think so much like push kind of slalom. Just think that leg that's here is where you want the body weight. So if I do it really slow, you would see now my body weight on the left, now it's on the right, now it's on the left, now it's on the right. So slalom again, but focus on putting more weight on the one under you. Because the idea is when we skate, the other leg lifts up. So we need to be able to have weight here. So slalom again, but where there's no, you don't do you just hold it on the inner leg. It's a little confusing because the inner leg will be a different leg all the time. So like this is the outerish, that's the outer, that's the outer. So it's almost the same way, just going straight. So you can all be on it. So we're doing slalom one more time, but now to really make sure that you are with all your weight on it, you gently lift the other leg when you do the slalom. So the same as we just did, but that outer leg, you lift it a little. So say slalom, but then when I'm here, I lift this up a little. But think about it more like that slalom you just did, but then because the weight is here, I can lift this. But you don't have to make the big moves that I do. You can also do it like we're done with the position work, so we can save that for another day. But just now I just wanted you to feel that you have your weight on this side of your skate. So if that means do it at this pace, that's totally fine. I think a lot of people do like a little, almost like a spasm at the end of the push, which we want to avoid that. That's what we talked about, like how much push can you do if you're already here? Very little. Like you can only push when you're on the leg. If you're away from it, there's no push left. And this thing forces you, I mean, if I'm lifting this, I can't push. So with this drill, if you do it after this clinic, just make sure you're not pushing, but just feeling that edge underneath yourself. So we're gonna do a turn drill, but it's gonna teach you the same thing. I just think it's a really nice way to feel not just having your weight, but pushing as you're on the outer edge and not waiting till the end. So there's a line of circles that are basically, I use them to separate a crossover into simple steps that you can focus on. And there isn't a crossover, there is a movement where you step in and then you drive this leg out. That's how you make speed in a crossover. Like you do a cross, but it's because you push this leg that way. That's what makes the speed. And that's the motion I want you all to find today. Like you push, I know this is a crossover, but if that was skating, it's just this instead. So in a crossover, you are in your outer edge. We'll agree, like this is the outside of my wheels, right? And I'm pushing that way. So I want you to learn to have that pressure. So circle 2 is where you step in and then squeeze, kind of push it out. So you're gonna do that because you're all gonna be on the outside of your wheels and learning to squeeze or push it. So I'll just demonstrate. Circle 1 is this, and circle 2 is that part of the crossover. So I step in and then I push this out there. Step in, step in, step in. So it's not this leg that pushes. I fall in on this, and the motion I want you to practice is this leg, the left, driving out towards the right. Just like we did the slalom, where it drives here, drives here. So now we just do circles, where you move your whole body in, and then push this leg out towards the other. So the nice thing about this, almost all of this, your edges, is that you can always see them. When I tell you be in this position, it's hard because you can't see yourself. But for the edges, you can look down, you can see, are my skates like this, or are my skates like this? So when you have a lean, your skates should also lean. They should always be aligned so that the angle of the wheels should be straight aligned with your shins, and then, you know, foot, knee, hip, shoulder on top of each other. So when we're rolling around in the circle here with a lean, that means that this cannot be on this edge. It should be on this edge because you're leaning. So you can always like look down and see, oh, that's on this side of the wheels. I can't remember who it was, but one of you asked me, can you see by how your wheels are used if you skate well or not? Not necessarily, but I do think the more V-shaped your wheels become, the better, because that means you're on your edges. If they just simply get flatter and flatter and flatter, it means you're here. So get on the sides of them, meaning you can look down and see, am I on the right or the wrong side? And when we turn, you want to be on the outside of this because you're leaning that way. So next time you do circles, very nice thing to just look down and see, are they leaning as much as I am? Because otherwise that's going to be the weak link. If I want to jump up in the air, there's going to be a lot of lost power here, but not if it's all on top. So we're going to do more slalom. It's going to be a lot of slalom today. This one is on one leg, but where you can use a support leg. And earlier I said the support leg is for the support. For this one, you're allowed to have a little bit of body weight on it if it's necessary. But it is just for you to feel that front leg steering and applying some weight, as much as you can, when you're doing a slalom on one leg. So it'll make sense when I show it, I think. So it's So if you look at my foot, the one in the front, you see how much angle there's on that? How much it goes on one edge, on one edge. It's like now it's extremely angled. And that's the feeling I want you guys to have here. So don't worry about where the other leg goes, the position, the upper body. All I want you to focus on is that leg in the front. The wheels, the skate, your lean should go on both edges of the skate. The harder it is, the more you can put weight on the rear leg so that it's even easier getting those edges. Just all you focus on is that front skate going inner, outer edge of the wheels.
Okay, so bad news, the mic died, so I'm gonna record my voice here. Next exercise is basically the same, but slowly I asked them to take that foot off the ground and feeling the entire weight on each edge. You can do it just like I did here, where you really almost slalom it just to make sure you get comfortable on both sides. And then as you get better, you apply actual pressure here. The better you get, the less you move vertically and the more you actually move into the ground. So because a lot of people are gonna find that one very tricky and challenging, this one, the crisscross, is a very natural way to force yourself to do it. Because as you can see here, if you look at my edges, my feet, I am on a single leg on the outer edge. So, and this is just super comfortable because you have the other leg to catch you. The double push is basically this, but instead of crossing in front of you, you cross behind you. So find a straight line and then do this. As I will here demonstrate, you can do it at basically any pace and you don't have to bend your legs a lot. It's as easy as this. Just focus on my edges here and you'll see they are on an outer edge carrying my entire body weight. And then as you get better and more comfortable, you get into the position and you can actually apply pressure and accelerate, as you can see here. Now we're moving on to something that's more of a skating constraint. You are no longer allowed to actually use the classic push. So you can see here, I really only apply pressure as I'm on the outer edge. So it's basically a double push, but without the standard part of the push. So a good way to think of it is that you don't fully extend your legs as you skate here. You only push on the knee yourself. You will notice this is a fantastic skill also to develop if you're skating in the rain. So apply early pressure and just think of squeezing your skate underneath yourself and apply pressure there instead of doing it at the end of the push, that spasm action we talked about a little earlier. And the final drill of this whole clinic was one where I really wanted the participants to learn to squeeze and put pressure in that under push. So you can see here, you're on both skates, but you really have to force that squeeze inwards. So as you move to the outer edge, you apply a lot of pressure to even be able to make the movement. It is super nice because that is how you want it to feel almost as you do a double push. And these, just like the rest of the exercises, are just small parts of that perfect push. But doing these over and over and over, implementing in your daily skating will do wonders. And now while we see me make some kind of joke that nobody will ever find out what it's about, just thanks a lot for watching and hope to see you for my next video. Reach out to me if you want me to be at your next clinic.